Hi there. My name is Sarah, and I want to share something that changed the way I approach learning English. Like many of you, I've found myself in situations where I needed to speak in English but didn't know how to say the right words. Today, I'll take you on a journey, a story about how I got lost in London and had to ask for directions in English. This is not just a story. It's a chance for you to learn and practice English with me. We'll discover new words, phrases, and even some tips for getting out of tricky situations. Don't forget to turn on the subtitles if you need them and repeat the phrases out loud whenever I pause. Are you ready? By the end of this video, you'll feel more confident asking for help in English. So let's dive into the adventure, and remember, you're not alone in this journey. It was a crisp autumn morning in London. The golden leaves rustled gently in the breeze as Sarah stepped out of her cozy Airbnb. She had a whole day planned, filled with sightseeing and exploring the city's history. With her map and a list of landmarks, she felt ready to tackle the adventure ahead. But as Sarah walked through the bustling streets, the landmarks on her list didn't seem to match the paths she was taking. She paused at a busy corner, the hum of Londoners rushing past her. In her hand was a crumpled piece of paper with an address written in neat handwriting. Is this Trafalgar Square? Or am I still too far away? She muttered to herself, looking around at the unfamiliar surroundings. Her heart began to race slightly. She realized she was completely lost. The street signs weren't much help. Some of the words were long and hard to pronounce, and others seemed to be hidden behind overgrown trees. She opened her phone, hoping Google Maps would save the day, but the screen read, "No signal." "Okay," she whispered, taking a deep breath. "I can do this. I'll ask someone for help, but how do I even say it?" Sarah scanned the crowd for someone who might help a friendly-looking woman sitting on a nearby bench. She rehearsed the phrase in her mind. "Excuse me, can you help me find?" The scene was set. Sarah was about to face her fear of speaking English with strangers, and the stakes felt higher than ever. Sarah approached the woman on the bench with cautious determination. The woman appeared to be in her mid-40s, with kind eyes and a warm smile. She was reading a book and sipping a coffee from a takeaway cup. "Excuse me," Sarah said, her voice barely above a whisper. The woman looked up, her expression welcoming. "Yes?" The woman replied, her British accent crisp but soft. I'm lost," Sarah began, fumbling with the paper in her hand. "Can you help me find this place?"
She unfolded the paper to show the address, her hands trembling slightly.
The woman leaned in to read it, then smiled. "Ah, you're trying to get to Trafalgar Square. You're not far at all." Sarah let out a small sigh of relief, but then the woman continued, "You'll need to walk down this street. Take a left at the large red building, and then go straight for about 10 minutes. You'll see the square. It's quite obvious once you're close." Sarah nodded, but her mind was spinning. Left where? 10 minutes straight? What red building? The directions sounded simple enough, yet they felt like a puzzle she couldn't piece together. Sensing Sarah's hesitation, the woman added, "Are you visiting from abroad?" "Yes," Sarah admitted, "from Spain." "My English is not so good." The woman's smile widened. "You're doing wonderfully. Don't worry. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. Excuse me, how do I get to Trafalgar Square?" Sarah hesitated but managed to repeat the sentence. Her voice grew steadier with each word. The woman gave her an encouraging nod. "Perfect. Now, you try asking someone else." "You've got this." Though still nervous, Sarah felt a flicker of confidence. She thanked the woman and set off in the direction she'd been pointed, ready to try again. As Sarah walked along the bustling street, her heart raced. Every step brought her closer to her destination, but also closer to her next challenge, asking someone else for directions. She rehearsed the phrase the kind woman had taught her, muttering it under her breath like a mantra. "Excuse me, how do I get to Trafalgar Square?" She whispered repeatedly, her Spanish accent softening as she gained confidence. Soon, she spotted a middle-aged man in a dark suit standing near a coffee cart. His demeanor seemed approachable, so Sarah gathered her courage and stepped forward. "Excuse me," she began, her voice trembling slightly. The man turned toward her, eyebrows raised in polite curiosity. "How do I get to Trafalgar Square?" she asked, the practiced sentence rolling off her tongue. The man smiled warmly. "Ah, Trafalgar Square. You're quite close. Just go straight down this road and take a right at the big fountain. You'll see it." Sarah nodded, repeating the key words to herself. Straight, right, big fountain. The man noticed her effort and added, "You're doing great with your English. Keep it up." "Thank you," Sarah replied, her cheeks flushing with a mix of pride and relief. As she continued down the road, her steps felt lighter. Each successful interaction was like a small victory, building her confidence piece by piece. Soon, she approached a crossroads and noticed a street musician playing the violin. The soft melody filled the air, drawing a small crowd. Sarah paused, taking in the moment. She realized that, despite her initial fear, she was navigating a foreign city on her own and doing it in English. With renewed determination, she pressed on, her destination growing nearer and her confidence growing stronger. Sarah finally reached Trafalgar Square, its grandeur unfolding before her eyes. The towering statue of Admiral Nelson, the majestic fountains, and the vibrant crowd bustling around created a lively atmosphere. She felt a sense of accomplishment but knew her journey was far from over. She wandered through the square, admiring the artwork displayed by local vendors. Her eyes caught a young woman about her age, sketching portraits at a small stand. Sarah hesitated for a moment before approaching. "Hello," she said cautiously. The artist looked up, her green eyes lighting up with a friendly smile. "Hi there. Would you like a portrait?" Sarah smiled nervously. "No, but—" "Your drawings are beautiful. Thank you," the artist replied. "Where are you from?" "Spain. Sarah answered, her accent giving it away. I'm learning English. You're doing great, the artist encouraged. I'm Emma, by the way. I'm Sarah, she replied, her confidence growing slightly. Emma set down her pencil. It must be hard learning English while traveling. If you'd like, we can chat for a bit. I love meeting people from different places. Sarah hesitated but nodded. Yes, I want to practice. The two sat on a nearby bench, the lively square providing the perfect backdrop for their conversation. Emma asked Sarah about her hometown, her favorite foods, and what brought her to London. Each question gave Sarah an opportunity to use new vocabulary and improve her sentence structure. When Sarah stumbled on a word, Emma patiently helped her. They laughed together over small mistakes, making the learning experience enjoyable and lighthearted. You're doing amazing, Emma said warmly. Language learning is all about trying. You've already come so far. As the sun began to set, Sarah realized how much her confidence had grown. For the first time, she felt less like a tourist and more like someone finding her way in a new world. As Sarah packed her belongings and prepared to leave London, she took one last look at the bustling city outside her window. This trip wasn't just about visiting iconic landmarks or tasting local foods. It was about growth, overcoming fears, and embracing the beauty of learning. Sitting down with her journal one last time, she summarized the key lessons from her journey. Learning through action. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Mistakes are part of the process. Building confidence. Every conversation, no matter how simple, is progress. Celebrating small wins. Ordering tea, asking for directions, and making friends, all victories to be proud of. Sarah smiled as she closed her notebook. This wasn't the end of her English learning journey, but the beginning of a lifelong adventure. Looking at the camera, she shared a heartfelt message. Learning a new language takes courage, patience, and practice. Remember, each small step brings you closer to your goal. Whether you're traveling, talking to friends, or studying at home, keep going. You're doing amazing. Before saying goodbye, Sarah encouraged viewers, if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join me for the next adventure. Together, we'll keep learning, one story at a time.